Okay, Tom from Golden Gate Plugworks. So, AlumiUV demo. This is how I do it. Got like a metal lip type bait for striped bass. So I'm gonna coat, and I haven't put any coats on yet. So this is the first one. And nice thing about this AlumiUV is this brush I've been using for 2 years. It doesn't come up, it doesn't die. It's really nice stuff. Hang on, let me try and do this and hold the camera. It's a little bit hard, but I'll give this a little flip. I can get the back side of this thing. Same deal. Just paint that stuff on. And yeah, I've used this AlumiUV on all kinds of stuff, and it's, in my opinion, it's pretty cool because of a lot of reasons. It dries rock hard. It gets great bonding. You can coat over it multi times. Oops. Yeah, lots of no VOC benefit is important. I mean, there's literally like, I'm in my shed sort of workroom thing, but I'm not really feeling any, anything from it like you would if you were using some kind of 2-part epoxy. Burning your eyes, your nose. This stuff doesn't really smell at all. I mean, if you put your nose up to it, you'll smell it, but it's not bad at all. You could do this inside with no ventilation at all, and you'd be fine. Okay, so I've gotten that coated pretty well. You can see, I'm just going to give little front to back strokes. And even if you have, some little imperfections in the coat, you can see it's not perfect, but it's not beating up like I've read some people, I've had that too, when I let the first coat cure and then don't do much after, the gloss coat cures when I put a second coat on and it beads up. You want to avoid that. So I've stuck this little bill in here just to give it, this little bill, just to give it a little something to keep the epoxy out. And I'll just hit that front. Okay. So for this, for this, I'm going to put this away. You just move the stuff right out of the way. I'm just going to use this thing. So this one. This is what I do for coats. So I'll hit this just to get it hard, but not totally cured. And then, let me get back to you on that when I start the second coat. Okay, Tom here again. So I've got my coat. I just hit it with that black light, maybe 2 minutes on all sides, just to get it sort of set. And so now I'm just going right back in, hitting that with the second coat. I didn't let it cure for 20 or 30 minutes like I will, but it's hard enough to brush on after just a few minutes in that light. So just add add your second coat, and I found that, and you could do this with, you know, with your dip baits. You just dip it again, I guess. May have, you know, if it's on thick, it may have to cure a little longer than 2 to 4 minutes, but those nail lights make it hard, make that stuff pretty set very, you know, relatively quickly. So, you know, don't worry if you've got little bumps, or, you know, because all that stuff just sort of gets eaten up by the layers of epoxy, and then you get a nice clear finish. Sometimes you may have to do 3 coats, but that's okay. The point being is that this eliminates having to wait in between cure time and then having to scuff, which is necessary if you're going to do 2 coats and wait. If it goes full cure, then you're gonna have to scuff with some, you know, wet or dry, maybe 1,000. So make sure you put on enough the first coat if you're gonna let it cure, because you want enough to be able to scuff up. Otherwise, you're gonna scuff right through it into your paint, which is no fun. But you can see, you know, it's starting to get a nice glassy finish on it. I'm just gonna keep going around, and I'll show you where I put it to finally cure. Okay, so after doing a few cures and coats, I realized I got some air bubbles, something, maybe some dust, I don't know. So that's okay. I built up enough that I can then go back and sand it and then recoat it, and it'll be really nice and shiny with the final hot coat. But this is my setup. A lot of people ask, you know, about lights, so here's mine. It's a, you know, 4 foot. I mounted one bank onto the wall so it's stationary, and I mounted this one on feet so I can move it. And it's really, this is key shit with this AlumiUV, is getting the light as close to the bait as possible. So I'll be back when it's cured. Gotta check in with the kids that's yelling. All right, here we are back again. So I let that cure and gave it a nice light sanding. You can see it's scuffed up. I got all those little marks from, I figured out what it was. It was this mesh scale bag that I used. It's got a lot of paint on it, and I guess I left it on there too long and it stuck. When I pull it off, it left a bunch of crap behind, and so I had to do a little extra work to save this plug. But it's a good lesson in what we can do with this stuff. But you could see that I scuffed it pretty well. Still some high spots and low spots. Those will all fill in with this last application. But so far it's 2 coats we did with the quick cure in between. So now we're just gonna hit it again. See what, and then show you the final results, all right? So bear with me, I'll be back. All right, so there it is. Final gloss coat, and you can see all the imperfections are gone. It'll be left with a nice shiny coat, and be hard as rock once it's finally cured up. So I will be back with the swim test in a little bit. All right. Okay, well, here's the finished product. As you can see, all those pock marks are gone. Looks pretty tight. It's all rigged up, tail loop, a custom hook hanger, There's tail wrap. So let's see. Hold on.